Was it like 5 days?
Meeting called to order. All members present except Dr. Duke. Public comment during session. Hearing no comment, adjourn to closed session.
Hey, boss.
How we doing?
All right. I'm real.
Good, good. Stay safe.
COVID safe. Is that the camera up there?
Yeah, point it right at you.
My recess. Ooh, I heard we can. Oh, me too?
Are we back up or?
Oh, we're up?
No, that's a question. I'm sorry.
Never mind.
We're live right now.
Greetings. How do I get it? On what channel? Facebook?
YouTube.
Either the
YouTube.
website or what our website.
YouTube. Are we about to go to Unify?
PVUSD board meeting 5/5/2020.
Call the meeting back to order. Please join Mr. Burton for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Ready to begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence. There's no action taken in closed session. Okay. Call for an adoption of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Programs and presentations. Number 1, announcement. Recognition of 2021 School Site Teachers of the Year and 2021 District Teacher of the Year. The Palo Verde Unified School District wishes to recognize the following 2021 Teachers of the Year selected from each school site. Ruth Brown Elementary, Courtney Kale Hurt. Margaret White Elementary, Heather Knudsen. Felix J. Appleby, Carol Wade. Palo Verde High School, Alicia Albanez. Twin Palms High School, Ariel Tenafos. Head Start, Lahoma Randall. Congratulations to all. Tracy Kern will announce the 2021 Palo Verde Unified School District Teachers of the Year.
So before we announce the District Teacher of the Year, I'm going to call April Smith up so she can read each principal's recognition of their school Teacher of the Year.
Good evening, board members. From Ruth Brown, we have Courtney Hurt as a Teacher of the Year, and this is what Ms. Robinson had to say. Ms. Hurt's teaching career started in 1998 as a substitute teacher. She was born in Long Island, New York, and was raised in San Diego, where she graduated from San Diego State University. As a substitute teacher, she taught in La Mesa Spring Valley Unified School District, Cajon Valley Union School District, and Chula Vista Elementary School District, all in San Diego County. She's taught 8th grade math, 4th grade, kindergarten, and 1st grade. She moved to Blythe in 2005 and has been working for the Palo Verde Unified School District for 15 years. Mrs. Hurd has been a tremendous help at Ruth Brown. She is currently an active member of Ruth Brown Site Council. She has also participated in Marathon Kids Running Program, Report Cards Committee, Pacing Guide Committees, union site rep, grade level chair, co-directed the annual Christmas performances, supported school festivals, mentored new teachers, ran weekly buddy reading groups for 2 years, and helped facilitate many field trips. Her greatest achievements outside of the classroom is her family. She has 2 children, Max, who's a junior at the Palo Verde High School, and Rory, who's a junior at UCR. Besides her family, her passions are running, reading, teaching, and relaxing on the river in her boat. Mrs. Hurt has run 21 marathons. Her hard work training daily paid off when she earned a spot to run in the 2020 Boston Marathon. Mrs. Hurt's philosophy of education is that every student in her care will build confidence in themselves and respect for one another while excelling academically. She strives to provide a comforting classroom community where her students are empowered and a place where they all learn from each other. As you can see, for these reasons and many more, it is Ms. Robinson's honor to recognize Ms. Courtney Hurd as Ruth Brown's Teacher of the Year. At Margaret White, the Teacher of the Year is Heather Knudsen. Heather has been a teacher at Palo Verde Unified School District for 5 years. She began her career at Margaret White as a 4-5 combination teacher in 2014-2015 school year. It was a tough task, but she took it on and did a great job. Heather left for a year to return to her family in Yuma, but couldn't stay away from Margaret White long. After a year of teaching in Yuma, Heather decided to move her family back to Blythe and continue her teaching career at Margaret White. When Heather returned to Margaret White, she took on the challenge of middle school grades. Surprisingly, this is where Heather realized she belonged. Heather does an amazing job of building relationships with her students and her students' families. She has learned that this is essential in being a successful teacher. Heather has also stepped up as a leader at Margaret White. The majority of her years at Margaret White, she has worked as a grade level chair. She has continued to support new teachers by working as a buddy teacher, and she has simply offered her time to any new teachers that need support. She has also taken on the role as NJHS coordinator and jump rope for heart coordinator. She has helped with the yearbook and always offers her help whenever she can. Heather is often also the social director at Margaret White. She is great at planning staff get-togethers and is sure we never forget to laugh and enjoy each other. Heather continues to find ways to improve. She has continued her education and is currently working on an administrative credential. Heather is a great example of a teacher that really cares about her job, her students, and her coworkers. It is clear that because of these reasons, she was chosen as Margaret White's Teacher of the Year. Congratulations, Heather, and this is well deserved. At Felix J. Appleby, Carol Wade was chosen as the Teacher of the Year. Mrs. De La Pena had this to say: Miss Wade is very deserving of this honor. She is a teacher who is always making sure that students are first. As a teacher, she not only develops rigorous lessons, but makes sure to develop strong rapport with her students. Oftentimes, her former students come back to help her in the classroom. They do not hesitate to spend part of their free time in Miss Wade's class to help her with partner reading and flashcards. She teaches the academics and also the life skills that students need to be successful. Students in Ms. Wade's class develop a love for writing and reading that lasts throughout their educational career. Ms. Wade offers a classroom that is a safe place for all students. Students are pushed to learn and to do better every day. Ms. Wade is an effective participant on the site. If you need to find Mrs. Wade after school hours, you can find her in the school garden or in the school habitat. She makes sure that these places are kept in great condition for her students. There is not an extracurricular activity that she is not a part of. There is nothing she will not do to support her students and staff. Ms. Wade is someone students and staff look up to. If anyone needs anything, she is the one that will make it happen. She is always involved, and because of her dedication and work, our school is a better place because of it. We are all very lucky to have Ms. Wade on our team. One of her colleagues said, Ms. Wade is one of the most helpful people I've ever worked with. If she doesn't know the answer to your question, she will go out of her way to help you. She is a team player and someone I can always count on. Her students love her, and her patience with them is impressive. Congratulations, Ms. Wade. Ms. Appleby and Ms. Villapena are all very proud of you, as we all are. At Palo Verde High School, we have Alicia Albanez as Teacher of the Year. Miss Angel has this to say about Miss Albanez. She says, "Good evening. It is with great pleasure that I present Miss Alicia Albanez as Teacher of the Year for the Palo Verde High School. Miss Albanez was born in Stockton, California, and raised from the 4th grade on in San Diego, California. She is a mother of 3 beautiful children, and her youngest is a freshman at Palo Verde High School. Ms. Albanez graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree in Physical Education with an emphasis in biology from the California state of Stanislaus while raising her children. Alicia began her teaching career at Palo Verde High School in October of 1992. She left for a few years and was back permanently in July of 2008. She has coached volleyball, cross country, track and field, basketball, and is currently the class of 2023 advisor. Her philosophy of being fit for life includes passionately teaching lifetime fitness to help motivate and teach young students the importance of being physically active all of their life. Ms. Albanez truly believes that exercise will not only improve the students' physical body, but their minds to be more positive and their souls for a feeling of peace as well. The Palo Verde High School is honored to have Ms. Albanez as a member of the Yellow Jacket family, and Miss Angel says, "Congratulations, Ms. Albanez, on behalf of the students and staff of Palo Verde High School." At Twin Palms, we have Ariel Tenefos as Teacher of the Year. Ms. Browder has the following to say: "Excellence in teaching. We know it when we see it. We can be the teacher who spends extra time with the students who need it the most, or the teacher who is creative enough to inspire a real love of learning in a student. Perhaps it's a teacher who cares enough to be involved with his or her students beyond the classroom. Whatever their methods, certain teachers make a real impact on students and their learning abilities. We would like to recognize such a teacher, Miss Ariel Tenefos. Ms. Tenefos is a new teacher at our school site, currently teaches mathematics and the senior project at Twin Palms. Ms. Tenefos was nominated by our team for her ability to meet both the academic and emotional needs of her students, from providing the supportive classroom from students of all abilities and finding ways to get students excited about learning. Her intellect, humor, heart, understanding curriculum, and ability to reach students all combine into making her an incredible educator. Ms. Tenefos builds relationships with kids, and they don't want to misbehave or disrespect her. She works to get to know them and support them in all areas of their lives. Many of our students have not been successful in school up to this point. They're hesitant to trust and oftentimes won't ask for help that they need to achieve their goals. She makes her students feel safe, supported, and loved. For all these reasons and many more, we are proud, Ms. Browder says, we are proud to announce Miss Ariel Tenefos as Twin Palms Teacher of the Year. And at Head Start, we have Lahoma Randall as Teacher of the Year. Miss Floyd has this to say: "Lahoma Randall began her career at PVUSD as a clerical aide in 1968. She earned her AA in Child Development and was hired as an instructional aide in 1972 at Appleby Elementary School. She pursued her lifetime dream of teaching and became a Head Start teacher in 1990. She continued her education and earned a bachelor's degree in human development in 2007. To date, Lahoma has a total of 47 years of teaching students. Ms. Randall teaches children ages 3 and 4. She is a first teacher for many when they come to Head Start. She always puts her students and families first, taking the time to listen and doing all she can to support their needs. Ms. Randall builds her students' confidence and values her students' opinions. She knows how to provide high quality and safe learning environment where her students can be successful. She prepares her students to enter kindergarten and builds a learning foundation that they will need to help them the rest of their lives. Ms. Randall never stops learning and takes the opportunity to continue to grow by striving every day to be a better teacher and help her peers. She earned her program director permit in 2014 and became a Head Start program coach in 2018. She is passionate about her job, always working long hours and weekends in order to prepare her lessons to provide the support for her co-workers and her kids. Miss Randall is a positive person who always tries to see the good in a situation and to use it for a learning opportunity. She conducts herself with poise and garners such respect, while also being very understanding and accepting of others. She was nominated as Teacher of the Year by her peers, who have relied on her for information, help, encouragement, and an example to follow. Congratulations, Ms. Lahoma Randall.
So this year, PVUSD is selecting 2 District Teachers of the Year. The District Teacher of the Year for PVTA is Carol Wade. The District Teacher of the Year for Teamsters is Lahoma Randall. Congratulations, all teachers, and thank you, Ms. Smith, for letting us know more about our teachers.
All right, now we have a presentation from our Physical Crisis Management Assistant team.
Good evening, this is John.
Hi, John, you're on with the Palo Verde Governing Board.
Good evening, good evening. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Well, good evening, Palo Verde Board of Trustees and administration and community or whoever else may be listening. My name is John Von Flew. I am the Chief Analyst with the Physical Crisis and Management Assistance Team. I'm calling in tonight to discuss the report that was issued, and I believe the trustees have a copy of the report, and the report's been distributed for this review. I'm not going to go straight over the report. I'll leave that to you, but what I want to do is take a little bit of time to get some background, hit the highlights of the report, and then make sure that there's an opportunity if you have any questions. I want to start off with a little bit of background about FICMAT, or Physical Crisis Management Assistance Team. We refer to as FICMAT, our acronym. We're an independent external state agency that works around physical stability and physical oversight of districts. Our work is 70% management assistance, where we are invited in and work to support districts. 10% physical crisis, 10% fraud, and then the remaining 10% is proactive professional development. We like to work in the management assistance and professional development realms, but we're there for the fiscal crisis and fraud as well. FICMAT originated back in 1992 under the AB 1200, Assembly Bill 1200, which strengthened school district oversight and built some standards and criteria by which schools and districts are evaluated. We all know the budget development and adoption process, the first and second interim reporting process. That was all developed with the AB 1200. It also allows for several forms and levels of intervention, with as little intervention as possible to ensure the district is on track moving forward. But the levels of intervention increase, just as you're aware of in the RTI, or Multi-Critical Systems of Support process, where intervention is elevated as we go through different levels of need. All in all, the responsibility of fiscal solvency is local and remains under the board's responsibility and its role of trustees as a body. The fiscal health risk analysis that I'm going to review tonight, I want to give you a little bit of background on that. In the 1819 Budget Act, the legislature defined and added to FICMAT's role and wanted us to be more proactive and to ensure accountability of county offices oversight. So we're using the tool of the fiscal health risk analysis, which is developed based on 20 different areas that we have learned, FICMAT has learned over the course course of our existence and have found to be in districts who struggle financially. There's a scoring that's involved with it, and ultimately it identifies a risk level as low risk, medium risk, or high risk. With this instance, with the Budget Act, FIGMAT was triggered to come in, meaning we came in based on an action that happened, and the state gave us an apportionment to come in to Palo Verde, so there was no cost to Palo Verde or the Riverside County Office of Education. And the trigger was automatic based on the district having a determination of lack of going concern. In accountant speak, going concern is a good thing. A lack of or not a going concern is the opposite and identifies an issue. And I'll get to some details on that in a second. FIGMAT can go in under several different conditions, either having an unapproved budget, a negative interim certification, 3 or more consecutive qualified certifications, a downgrade of certification from the county office, or, as I spoke with, the lack of going concern identification. So about Palo Verde. Palo Verde is one of 16 districts that have been triggered since the 1819 Budget Act was implemented, and FIGMAT has started these reviews. Palo Verde appeared on our fiscal solvency radar with the 1920 budget. As you recall, the budget was conditionally approved by the Riverside County Office of Ed in September of 2019, and the district was asked to revise the budget and resubmit, reapprove. When they did, when you did, the budget did not meet the minimum reserve of 3% through the 3-year projection. So in 2021 and 22, it fell below a 3% reserve. This triggered the Riverside County Office of Ed to identify the district as a lack of going concern in October of 2019, and thus triggered FIGMAT to engage. Myself and fiscal specialist visited the district in November and conducted interviews over 3 days and requested 100+ documents and reports that we reviewed. Regarding this review, the results of that visit and the review of the documents resulted in this fiscal health risk analysis, and I'm going to highlight the areas with that. The report identifies several areas of fiscal concern. Don't take it as a document that's to place blame or identify fault, but intended to identify the areas of concern and provide the district with direction on how to improve their fiscal outlook. The analysis identifies the district has a high risk of insolvency and identifies several fiscal weaknesses, risk, and insolvency. I want to share that the FIGMAT approach to things is to not identify all the things the district or an entity is doing well, but we focus on those areas in which they can improve or where we find deficits. So as you go through the report, you'll see comments on only those where a deficit exists. Highlighting the district's concerns. The district's risk includes an inability to make sufficient reserves due to a forecasted deficit spending and the lack of a plan to correct the trend. So what caused the deficit spending trend? There's external factors that you could not or may not have been able to control, such as declining enrollment, which the district has experienced in recent years and has projected to continue. As you know, the Palo Verde's revenues are highly correlated with enrollment and COLA projections, and those revenue increases are not expected to keep pace with rising costs. The most significant concern about rising costs is in compensation, including statutory employee benefits. Employee compensation for Palo Verde, as with most districts, imposes the majority of the district budget. Internally, several factors that contributed to the concerns were the lacking of information to help guide decisions, The audits identified issues with closing of fiscal year 18-19, which was very much why the county office had to redo the budget. Also, audits for past years identified issues with student data reporting and led to revenue adjustments, negative revenue adjustments to the district. Employee compensation costs, as I said, compose the majority of the budget, and the district needs to strengthen controls in determining the needs for positions, verify budget availability, and approval prior to hiring. So control over their employment practices, employee practices. FICMAT found that detailed assumptions were not shared during budget presentations and reporting. They may have verbally been communicated, but we looked at documents that were posted and tracked to see what level of detail, in the hopes of finding that the level of detail was there for decision making going forward, and to identify revenue and expenditure trends that may be of concern. Lack of controls and expenditures of restricted programs causing increasing encroachment on unrestricted dollars. Cash flow projections should go through the current year and subsequent year. That would be this year and 2021 is where you should be looking at your cash flow. So the remainder of this year and the following year. And if you have been hearing, you know that it's going to be crucial to be monitoring cash when there's going to be a lot of potential for deferrals in the upcoming year and years. I think that found that capital lease payments will continue through 2031 and are significant to the district. They compose over 3.5% of unrestricted revenues. Just so you know, the gauge FICMAT's flag goes up in 2%. Palo Verde is at over 3.5% of unrestricted revenues are going towards capital lease payments. District settled bargaining agreements with that identified plan to fund the increases. When we reviewed plans, they identified that they will use reserves or cuts will be made to support. Ideally, actions to ensure affordability should be taken prior to or at minimally concurrently with any cost increases. And lastly, charter school oversight procedures were not developed when we were there. For those who understand the district's role in overseeing and authorizing a charter school, if they do their due diligence and fiscal oversight, then if the charter school has fiscal liability, the district will be held harmless. However, if their fiscal oversight responsibilities are not set, then any charter liabilities will become the liability of the district who authorized them. So very important that those oversight responsibilities are in place. Before I go to the next steps, I do want to share some observations of Palo Verde. We believe through the process and interaction with the district that the district is aware and acknowledging of its problems and issues. We believe that the county Office of Ed, Riverside County Office of Ed, is providing support to the district on a regular basis. The risk score that we found with this report was 45.1% on the scale, and I'll remind that over 40% is considered a high risk of insolvency score. We saw that staff truly cares about the district's well-being. We know that external influences will continue and fiscal issues will remain into the future. We believe that the district needs to make informed decisions and tough decisions to maintain its solvency. I'll pause there if there are any questions.
There aren't any questions, John.
Okay, so where do you go from here? We hope that the report identifies some opportunities for you. You will need to live within a balanced budget, within your means, and it's tough as it may be in times like this, build reserves to weather downturns. Now we're in that downturn, we're now in a recession. Expectations going forward look like we're going to see cash deferrals. It looks like we're going to see the potential for zero and or potentially negative COLAs. And the district's responsibility to remain solvent lies locally. We believe that the district has reached its low point and is now in recovery mode. Continued fiscal distress due to limited revenues and increasing expenditures is sure to come. To continue to work towards efficiencies and cost reductions. We ask that you work closely with the groups at County Office of Ed. Consider them your partners, more than an oversight agency at this point. Consider them a partner in thought and for every decision and every element of your recovery plan. Be transparent and cooperative. And it's not, I can't underemphasize the need to take action. Time is of essence to make sure that you have a plan and implement it for full recovery. Ultimately, it's the board's responsibility to lead the district. You must continue to act to maintain fiscal solvency and not lose your local authority or control. Are there any questions?
There's no questions, Sean.
Okay. Well, I hope you utilize this report as a roadmap. We at the end of the report is a summary in which we try and highlight and give an executive summary of the issues that we have determined and give some recommendations. But throughout the report, you can see areas of need and hopefully we've identified how to address those, and we see an improvement in Palo Verde Court going forward.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I want to express my appreciation to the staff and district of Palo Verde for their cooperation as we went through this process. I know it's an added duty when you've already got a flexible plate, and as well as other issues that came up during that process, and we really appreciate the cooperation and hope you find value in it.
Thank you, John.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
All right. Now for our hearing session. This is an opportunity for community members to address the board on agenda and non-agenda items. We have one comment tonight. This is Juan Ramirez, Partnership Specialist with the U.S. Census Bureau. First of all, I would like to thank you for allowing me to share this very important 2020 census information. There have been important updates on some of the census operations. I would like to announce that the decennial census deadline has been extended until October 31st, 2020. As of yesterday, approximately 39.4% of Blythe residents have responded to the 2020 census questionnaire, either online, by phone, or by mail. The goal is to have 100% response so that Blythe can receive their fair share of the $675 billion in federal funds and grants. That money is spent on schools, hospitals, roads, and other vital programs. Residents may respond online at 2020census.gov, by phone at 1-844-330-2020, or by mail. Thank you, and I hope you continue to encourage everyone to self-respond at 2020census.gov. All right, that was our only public comment this evening. Board member report. Mr. Hernandez.
I have nothing to report.
Ms. Gutierrez. Mr. Burton.
Another report.
And I have nothing to report. Superintendent's report. Ms. Tracy Kern.
I would like to take this opportunity to appreciate the dedicated work of nutrition services in the preparation of all our school meals and transportation services for the delivery of school meals to our youth in Blythe. Almost 85,000 meals have been delivered so far during the school closures that started on March 17th. Thank you for all your hard work. May 1st was National Day of the Principal. We have a great student-centered principal team, and we appreciate all of our principals for their good work. Today is National Teacher Appreciation Day, and PVUSD. We have good-hearted, dedicated, hard-working teachers, and they make a positive contribution each day for our students, and you all are truly appreciated. We also honor our school nurses. Tomorrow is National School Nurses Day, and we appreciate our nurses for keeping our staff and our students safe and healthy, particularly during this time. Thank you.
Okay, now for our fiscal update report, Mr. Milton Sanchez.
Good evening, board, superintendent, and community. At this point, there hasn't been a lot of change since the last board meeting. We've received the supplemental COVID-19 funds. That's probably the biggest update. For the district, it was about $47,500, give or take, and that will allow us to not absorb, in such a difficult way, some of the added costs that are coming along with the COVID-19 experience. So we appreciate the response of the state for sending that down to us. We are currently working on a third interim report. We expect to bring that to the board at the second meeting in May, and are also actively working on the adopted budget for 2021. Very much taking into consideration the feedback and advice from FICMAT. We are doing our best to develop a budget that is truly tailored to the needs of the students, while at the same time, the extras are going to be virtually impossible for next year. So we're doing our best. Like I said, we certainly want to meet the needs of the district and the students in the community, but it's a very careful balance to make sure that we're protecting the district from the fiscal storm that is coming. We've been told numerous times to expect a workload budget, which is a very basic level. Many of the programs that were announced in the year have been either postponed or eliminated completely. So we're paying close attention to all the developments as they occur, and like I said, working very closely as a team to look at areas of the district where there's inefficiencies, and doing our best to correct that. Any questions regarding the budget?
Thank you, Milton. For our reports of associations, PVTA, the board members received a letter from PVTA. We'd like to acknowledge that. From CSEA, this is from Robert Figueroa, president of CSEA. We've been working closely with Tracy during these trying times and have gotten to know more about her as well as her experience as superintendent and her education in general. My board and I were very impressed with her credentials as well as how she's worked with the association. I believe we are close to signing a deal on the COVID-19 MOU because of the good working relationship we've had so far with her. CSEA would really like to see her given a chance as permanent superintendent of PVUSD and continue the great work we started with her. Thank you. Action items. L1, expulsion case number 19-20-04. Call for motion?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? L2, first reading and approval. Adoption of board policy 6157, distance learning. Call for motion?
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? L3, first reading and approval, adoption of board policy 4113.5, working remotely. Call for a motion?
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? L4, approval of resolution number 2019-20-21, grading during emergency school closures.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? L5, approval of resolution number 2019-20-23, federal education funding in light of impacts associated with the COVID-19 pandemic.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? L6, approval acceptance of fiscal crisis and management assistant team, PVUSD fiscal health risk analysis.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? L7, approval amendment to purchase of 3 CNG student passenger buses. Call for motion.
Second.
Questions or
I
comments?
had a question. Didn't we approve this at one time, or what are we doing again?
We did approve it at, I believe, the March 3rd board meeting, but what happened in the time of the order processing is the brand of the tire changed. And just in the interest of full disclosure, we brought that back. We combed it line by line, and the tires, it went from, I don't remember the brand that we had on the old quote, but it's Cooper. And that's the only change. The prices are the same, the buses are the same. It's just, it's being transparent.
Okay, thank you. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? L8, ratification, approval of service agreement with Diverse Network Associates Incorporated. Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? L9, approval of Palo Verde Head Start 2021 budget reapplication.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? L10, approval of RCOE to Palo Verde Head Start 2020 to 2021 sub-award agreement. Call for motion.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? L11, approval of revision of 2021 Palo Verde Head Start revenue.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor? Any opposed? L12, approval of declaration of need for fully qualified educators 2020 through 2021. Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? L13, approval of annual statement of needs, CBEST waiver for 30-day substitute teaching permits. Call for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? L14, approval, agreement IN-40034 for CTE instructor services, modification number 4.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? L15, first reading and final approval, updated job description, Director of Human Resources. Call for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? L16, first reading and final approval, job description and new position, Assistant Superintendent of Business Services. Call for motion.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? L17, approval 2021 employment contract for Director of Data Assessment and Accountability.
So moved. Second.
All right, just a second, we have to read out these. L17, the 2021 employment contractor for Director of Data Assessment and Accountability. Salary effective July 1st, 2020. Placement on salary schedule 235, column 11, row 7. The director shall receive $150 per month to use for the purpose of marinating transportation vehicles to be used by director in connection with the services required of director. In lieu of a full-time use of a district cellular telephone, the director shall be provided a $75 reimbursement each month for job-related expenses for use of personal cell phone. All in favor? Any opposed? L18, call for a motion, approval of 2021 employment contract for Director of Special Services.
So moved.
Second.
L18, 2020-2021 employment contractor for Director of Special Services. Salary effective May 6, 2020, placement on salary schedule 2.
It's effective July 1st.
Salary effective July 1, 2020. Placement on salary schedule 235, column 11, row 6. The director shall receive $150 per month to use for the purpose of marinating transportation vehicles to be used by director in connection with the services required of director. In lieu of a full-time use of a district cellular telephone, the director shall be provided a $75 reimbursement each month for job-related expenses for use of personal cell phone. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? L19, approval of 2020-2021 employment contractor for Director of Human Resources. Call for a motion?
So moved.
L19, 2020-2021 employment contract for Human Resources. Salary effective July 1, 2020, placement on salary schedule 235, column 11, row 1. The director shall receive $150 per month to use for the purpose of marinating transportation vehicles to be used by director in connection with the services required of director. In lieu of a full-time use of a district cellular phone, the director shall be provided a $75 reimbursement each month for job-related expenses for use of personal cell phone. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? L20, approval of 2020-2021 employment contract for Assistant Superintendent of Business Services as amended. Call for a motion?
So moved.
All right. L20, 2021 employment contract for Assistant Superintendent of Business Services. Salary effective May 6, 2020. Placement on salary schedule 238, step 4. The Assistant Superintendent shall receive $150 per month for use of purpose of marinating transportation vehicles to be used by the director in connection with the services required of the director. In lieu of a full-time use of a district cellular phone, the director shall be provided a $75 reimbursement each month for job-related expenses for use of cellular phone. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? L21, approval of employment contract for superintendent as amended. Okay. As amended, the contract will change from a 1-year contract ending 6/30/21 to a 3-year contract. L21, as amended, employment contract for superintendent. Salary effective May 6, 2020. Annual base salary of $180,000. The superintendent shall receive $500 per month for automobile expenses incurred in the conduct of her duties for travel in Riverside and adjacent counties. The superintendent shall receive $100 per month for general business-related expenses incurred in the conduct of her duties. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. Okay. L22, approval, elimination of certificated management position. Call for motion?
So moved.
Second? All in favor? Aye. Consent items. Approve as amended. Items listed under the consent calendar's motions are considered to be routine and are acted on by the governing board in one motion. There is no discussion of these items prior to the board vote unless a member of the board requests specific items to be discussed and/or removed from the consent agenda. It is understood that administration recommends approval of all consent items. Each item on the consent agenda approved by the governing board shall have deemed to be considered in full and adopted as recommended. Call for a motion.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
M2, personnel report, 2019-20-16.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? M3, ratification of purchase order listing for March 2020.
So moved.
All in favor? M4, approval of updates to 2020 board meeting calendar.
So moved.
All in favor? Any opposed? M5, approval of Twin Palms Continuation High School class of 2020.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? N1, discussion information items. Discussion of Palo Verde Unified School District 2018 Major E Series B bond sale. Milton, Tracy?
Take this one.
Evening again, board, superintendent, and community. We brought this up as a discussion item. As you're aware, we in 2018 approved Measure E, which I think is about $24.5 million in bond funds. We took out the first round last year, which was the first $10 million, which gets us the barn, and there'll be some proceeds left over to use for other district upgrades. As you heard in the FIGMAT report and have been well aware of for the past few years, the long-term debt that the district carries is one of the major haunts to our budget. It's as John said, it's 3.5% of our unrestricted revenues go toward paying down our capital leases and other long-term debt, particularly the COPs. And so what we've discussed at the cabinet level is accessing Series B of the bond funds at approximately $8 million. And as per the clause that was in the election resolution, use some of that Series B funding to pay down our debt, particularly the COP debt. That's going to be, by the end of the year, close to $6 million, between maybe $5.8 and $6 million. But for the general fund, that's about $700,000 in annual payments. So it would be our intention, of course, with the board's direction and approval, to access the Series B funding and use a majority of the proceeds to pay down the debt. The other thing that we've actively discussed is using a portion of the bond funds to modernize the Twin Palms campus, and as part of that process, moving the district office over there. And that would save us another $200,000 a year from the general fund. And so essentially the Series B funding would accomplish those two goals. Get us out of the COP debt completely and eliminate part of our capital lease obligations by getting us out of this building and into something that we would own outright. And so that's kind of why we're here today, is because it would be our intention with your approval to bring a resolution at the second board meeting in May to proceed forward with Series B. Any questions or comments or concerns on that?
One of the things I have a concern about is, do we really know the big picture? And to discuss it right here in the board meeting, I think it's not a good place to discuss. I think we need to create a workshop so we can sit down and discuss, because
That is a great idea.
there's supposed to be money coming back. We were told that money would come back a certain percentage because of the barn and then other facilities, that we would get a percentage back from certain funding. I just like to sit down and you guys come up with a plan. What is it going to do to us? What we promised the community when we went off of this bond. That's my biggest concern, is that we make sure that the community understand what we're going through and not come back later and say this happened because we did pass bond, and then I think it was 90 or something, whatever, to remodel the schools. So we kind of, things didn't go the way it's supposed to go, so we got repercussions, and to do another bond, it was very difficult, and it took about 20-some years before the community said okay again. So let's try to put this out in the open and say, okay, this is what we're spending, this is what we're going to do, and this is what we may get back. when we do these projects, so.
As a property taxpayer, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, I'm in this, I have skin in this just as much as the next guy,
And I think we need to sit down as a group and.
we have, you're right, we have the security, project to update. There's various updates that I think you're right, should be part of a more comprehensive, discussion, and I don't know if Tracy directs that.
I think Tracy actually is already working on that for us.
Okay, perfect.
She had mentioned it, we've had discussions, already working on getting, Jimmy Sanders, the contractor that we've been dealing with on all these projects, getting him here to sit down with us, and go through all of the plans for us, and at that same time, we could be discussing the bond in general, to the funding on that, and, kind of go from there.
So ideally, between now and the next board meeting, we would be able to schedule this work study and have the exact discussion you're talking about. Yeah, and anyway, that's why we're here.
Okay, good. Okay. So Tracy can get us some dates, and then we'll see, how it works out for everybody, and hopefully in the next 2 weeks, we can make that happen. All right, any other questions? Any other business?
I had one, since we have a new superintendent. We need to have a workshop to set the goals that we get up when we evaluate strategic things that we can grade you on. And so she has no idea what we need, so we need to sit down again like we did with the last superintendent and be able to give her the goals that we think are important so that we can grade it.
Do you have any timeline on that, if you would like to? Okay, all right.
We need to do it by September, based on contractual agreements.
Okay. So hopefully in the next 6 weeks, we're able to get something, we'll have the first workshop regarding the projects and the bond, and then have an additional workshop.
Tell me too.
Okay.
I had one more thing. I'd like to know maybe the next board meeting about teacher recruitment, because it's what's going on now, and how many teachers are we losing, and do you think we're losing, and how recruitment's going to go this year. We always have a difficult time. I think this year you may have a little bit more difficult.
Any other future agenda items or other business? All right, call this meeting adjourned. Next regular meeting, Tuesday, May 19th.